Blues, those Nashville blues. Oh, yeah, I'm ready. Here's the theme. Hello there, I'm Peter Schickele, and this is Schickele Mix, a program dedicated to the proposition that all musics are created equal, or as Duke Ellington put it, if it sounds good, it is good. And it is good, believe me, to know that our bills are paid by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, by the National Endowment for the Arts, and by this fine radio station, where I am given space to do my thing, which thing, having been done, is distributed at large by PRI, Public Radio International. Passacaglia and chaconne are two terms that crop up in Baroque music, and there's been a lot written about what distinguishes one from the other. They were both originally dances, Spanish I believe, and in the realm of absolute music were associated with continuous variations. But 17th and early 18th century composers were blithely inconsistent in their use of the terms. I've seen articles about passacaglia and chaconne by modern authors who actually sound a bit put out, really rather testy, about how sloppy those old guys were when it came to what they called one and what they called the other. But of course those old guys didn't care about consistency. They just used the terms as they understood them. They didn't go to the library to make sure their use was consistent with everybody else's use. I can just hear some Baroque cat saying, "Passacaglia, man, either you got it or you don't." You know what I mean? I don't care. 3/4, 4/4, minor, major, 8 bars, 6 bars. If it doesn't tear you up, it ain't a passacaglia, man. Now, to be able to look at it from their point of view, think about the blues. Musically, I mean. What is a blues? It implies a sad song, and yet there are plenty of happy blues. It's used as the name for a 12-bar harmonic pattern, but there are hundreds of blues that don't fit that pattern. The blues can be slow or fast, major or minor, in duple or triple time. You want to talk about consistency, why does triple only have one P in it? Why doesn't it have 2, like ripple and nipple and cripple? Now, I think that most Americans, from the hippest to the squarest, feel that musically the blues means something without feeling any necessity to pin it down. We're going to talk about the blues today, but first, let me tell you what we're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about the history of the blues, how they went up the river from New Orleans to Beverly Hills. We're not going to talk about who has a right to sing the blues and who doesn't. In fact, we're not even going to deal with the great blues singers, which right off the bat will seem heretical to some. Blues comes from singing. You can't deal with the blues without talking about the singers. In fact, I guess the credo for a composer working in this area should be, I've got to sing to write the blues. No, we're going to talk about the blues as an influence. But to do that, we'll have to at least touch on a couple of the most common characteristics of the blues. I'm going to swing over to the authentic instrument here. I got a new, updated model here. Okay, let's turn it on and put the floppy disk in. Now, let's see, what do we want? Steinway, Baldwin, Yamaha, Bosendorfer, Kawai, Mason and Hamlin, Hamburg Steinway, Chickering, International Harvester, Mattel. Well, let's go with the 9-foot concert Black & Decker. Okay, now, there are just 2 basic things I want to cover, 2 very common characteristics of the blues. One is so-called blue notes, like the flatted third. Here's the third, 1, 2, 3, major third, and then you flat it, and you got the minor third. Now, the minor scale has a minor third. But it's sort of implied, this isn't always true, but it's sort of implied when you say the flatted third in the blues that the accompaniment has the major third and the melody has that minor third against it. So you get a little bit of salsa there. And then there's the flatted seventh. That's the regular seventh, and here's the flatted seventh. Tchaikovsky didn't think of that. Anyway, with those two altered notes, you've got a blues scale going. Okay, then you add the flatted fifth. That's the real, that's one of the main intervals in West Side Story. Okay, so that's sort of basic blues scales. Now we got the blues changes, in other words, the chord pattern. Now, as I say, a lot of blues don't follow this, but if you get together with a bunch of musicians and say, what should we do? We do the blues in B flat, everybody's going to be able to play together and be, on the same wavelength. The basic pattern is 12 bars long. You got 3 groups of 4 bars going there. Now, the first 4 bars are the tonic, that is based on the main note of the scale. Then you got 2 bars of the subdominant based on the 4th note of the scale. And 2 back on the tonic. And then 2 on the dominant, 5th note of the scale. And then back to the tonic. So you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Ooh, beat me, Daddy, 8 to the bar. Okay, now there are a lot of variations there, little chords that get put in between, but that's the basic pattern. One of the most common variations is to break up that last 5 chord, the dominant chord, into 2, the dominant and going back to the subdominant. The little extra notes in there aren't part of the blues pattern. That's due to incompetence. But that's one of the most common variations, and there are a whole bunch of other ones, too. We'll talk about one of the other ones later. But that's it, really. Let me swing back here. Those 2 things are most of what you need to know about the blues, technically wise speaking. That blues chord pattern is so recognizable. Back in the days when I was doing P.D.Q. Bach concerts with orchestras, I used to love rehearsing the last movement of the Royal Firewater music. It starts with a 2-bar phrase that could almost come out of one of J.S. Bach's Brandenburg concertos, and then it moves that phrase around through the blues chord changes. For the first 4 bars, you don't suspect anything. Even when you go to the subdominant in bars 5 and 6, that's more or less plausible Baroque. But by the time it goes back to the tonic in bar 7, some musician, usually a bass player, has started to smile. And when the dominant-subdominant thing happens in bars 9 and 10, everybody realizes that the Brandenburg Castle has been invaded by the blues. The beginning of the last movement of P.D.Q. Bach's Royal Firewater music. I mentioned that it was usually a bass player who was the first to smile. Why is that? Well, I think it's because bass players are quite likely to play other kinds of gigs in addition to the symphony orchestra. And if they do play jazz, they've got to be very aware of the chord structure because they're laying it down all the time. Now here's a pair of piano blues. The first straight out of the blues tradition, and the second a classical piece, marked in a slow blues tempo. They both employ the traditional chord pattern, although the opening number uses another common variation, just quickly breaking up the first 4 bars of tonic by going tonic, subdominant, tonic, tonic. Trust me. The second number doesn't always move when you think it's going to. It's very slow, and there's no bass and drums keeping the beat audible. But if you check it out, you'll hear that it's following the changes. 2 blues. I'll be back in less than 8 minutes. Two blues, both of them following the traditional pattern, but taking a few liberties here and there. After Hours was the first, with Avery Parrish, backed by Erskine Hawkins and his orchestra, and the second of Samuel Barber's Excursions for piano, played by Jeffrey Jacob. The part of the announcer is being played by Peter Schickele, and the show being announced is Schickele Mix from PRI, Public Radio International. Today's show is called I've Got a Right to Be Influenced by the Blues, and I consider that an inalienable right. Here's another pair of pieces. This time they're both classical. They're both influenced by the blues, but in very different ways. The first by the feeling of the blues, the second by the form. The first piece doesn't follow the standard chord pattern at all, but it does have some bluesy notes and a sort of a sad feeling. Not very sad, actually, more like wistful. In the second piece, although the chords are considerably altered, the basic 12-bar pattern is followed almost till the end. Even when single-line melodic writing takes over, the chords are implied. I call this sweetlet the feeling, the form, and it lasts about 5.5 minutes. The Feeling, the Form. The first was the second of Aaron Copland's four-piano blues, played by Eric Parkin, followed by the Audubon Quartet playing an excerpt from the String Quartet No. 1, American Dreams, by one of the most prominent composers ever to come out of Fargo, North Dakota, Peter Schickele. That's the last of the four studies that make up the second movement. And it's tidbit time here at the old Bar 12 Ranch. Everybody talks about having the blues. Well, what if I woke up this morning whistling a happy feeling, drinking brand new water, breathing like I'd never breathed? What do you call that?
When I woke up this morning, whistling a happy feeling, drinking brand new water, breathing like I'd never breathed. Everything was orange, orange like a daisy, orange like an orange popsicle. Yeah, I like that. That's how I let the cat out of the bag. Now that's when I left the birdcage open. That's why I walked the dog round the block, throw away the leash, cause I got the oranges. I had the blues, but that was yesterday. Those blues might come right back tomorrow, but something tells me it doesn't work like that. Step right up and you got the oranges. Orange, it doesn't rhyme with anything. I've heard that since I was 11, but never stopped me revving up and getting down, cause I got the oranges. It's my favorite color, comes from right off the rainbow, throws right out your window, in your door, grocery store. You can have this feeling, give it to your girlfriend, Lee. You can say I love you, orange love now. If I could trade it for anything, I'd change it just an iota. I'd mail it round the world in 80 days, especially delivered, cause you got the oranges. Orange, there are two ways can be spilling out, and anything can happen when you got the oranges.
The Oranges, Brian Woodbury and his popular music group. Very nice cut, great words. Orange, it doesn't rhyme with anything. I've heard that since I was 11. But that had never stopped me revving up and getting down because I got the oranges. A worthy addition to the lexicon of phrases. So anyway, let's get back to the blues. Who was it I saw on TV saying that hundreds of years from now, when they look back, they'll say that America's three great contributions to the world were the U.S. Constitution, jazz, and baseball. Like jazz in general, the blues had an African mother and a European father. The blues probably takes after her mother more than jazz in general does, but she's quintessentially American as American can be. And I suspect that I'm not the only American who finds this next selection a little, well, weird. You know, come to think of it, maybe this is what it's like for an Italian to hear grand opera sung in English.
Torneremo a casa per
Okay, Pino Daniele singing the song Un Uomo in Blues. A man with the blues, I assume that means. I bought this CD in Venice, and I don't speak much Italian. Pino is a handsome man here with a sort of scraggly beard and long salt and pepper hair flowing down way below his shoulders. Credits on this album are interesting. You got music and lyrics, musicians, special guest, sound programming, additional keyboards, background vocals, recorded at Logic Studios in Milano, and mixed by Greg Allman, Cutting Abbey Studios, London. And then you got Thanks to Hair by Rossano Dias for Olympio Hair Mania, Roma. This may be the first album I've seen that has a hair credit. The credits for this show run like this. I'm Peter Schickele. The program is Schickele Mix from PRI, Public Radio International. I've got a right to be influenced by the blues, and so does Pino Daniele in Italy, and so does Maurice Ravel in France. The second movement of Ravel's sonata for violin and piano is called Blues. The American input is strongly felt, but the piece makes the freest use of blues influences of anything on this show. Well, except, of course, the Brian Woodbury song, but that's not a blues, that's an Oranges. Did the composer of the violin-piano sonata we're considering here, did he feel a little defensive about it? He said that, in spite of the movement's American character, it is French music by Ravel. Hey, no problem. I see no reason to argue with that. If you're looking for a guy with purist attitudes about what's the blues and what isn't, or what's French and what's American, you got the wrong guy. So you can let go of my lapels. I'm cool. Man, he may look like an iceberg, but he's got quite a temper on him. Anyway, it had to happen. The blues in French. I'll see you in 10 minutes.
De temps en temps, je vais voir ma petite femme. Tous les temps en temps, je vais aller voir ma petite femme. Tous les temps en temps, c'est la seule, moi je l'aime. Tu m'as gagné ici, dans les rangs des camps. Tu m'as gagné ici, tous les rangs des camps. De temps en temps, je vais voir ma petite femme. Tiens dans mes bras jusqu'à minuit à soir. Je les tiens dans mes bras jusqu'à minuit à soir. Tous les temps en temps, je vais voir ma petite femme. Et toi, comment faire mon cousin? Et toi là-bas, comment faire mon cousin? Tous les temps en temps, je vais voir ma petite femme. mighty bound.
All right, indeed. The blues en français. The middle movement of Ravel's Sonata for violin and piano, played by Régis Pasquier and Brigitte Rangeret. I hope that pronunciation is close. Followed by some Cajun blues by Steve Riley and the Mamou Playboys, Tous les temps en temps. Okay, well, looks like we've got time for another tidbit here. We've followed the blues from America to Italy and to France and back to America again. Let's hop across the ocean once again.
I say, Piano.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Awfully good of you people to come tonight.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Especially because I'm feeling terribly low.
Oh, really?
Yes. I gave this party. I hoped everyone would enjoy themselves. And here am I, the host. And my girlfriend gone off and left me with another fella.
What a shame.
Yes. I feel like singing the blues. Could you play a blues, a 12 bar or however many you think appropriate blues?
Yes, I think so. I think that can be
Sure.
raised.
No, because I do love them. I've followed Dizzy Armstrong and Lord Ellington for years,
Yes.
and I know exactly how to sort of sing. So if you could ask your boys,
Yes.
drinks after and everything,
Oh,
I'll just follow them and they just do whatever they want. Would you do that?
yes, of course I will.
Yeah. Yeah. That absolute bounder, he's stolen that gal of mine. Yes, my boo-boo has slipped off with that tiny one. Oh, you dashed rotten beggar. Oh, fate so unkind. One's only one has slept off with whom one thought one's best friend. I swore £1,000 to bring their caper to an end. Yes, I took him to the hunt. I introduced him to the crowd. I failed to spot his foxy roof. My head was in a cloud. Oh, damn you, hot potato. I've learned my lesson now. And how? Prepare my hashish cigars. I'm going to freak a twip. I've had my fill of Squareville, and I've really got the pip. Switch on your hi-fi speaker and pass my tambourine. Yes, take care, Harry Krishna, for I've arrived on the scene. Oh, I feel better now. Oh, let's go down to Twip, where I can shout all the blues tiny wife. Come back to me, boo-boo.
He's not finished.
Come back to me, boo-boo.
Don't worry about Boo Boo, Reggie. I'm here.
Peter Sellers singing the Eaton Square Blues for musicians only brings Schickele Mix to a close this week. Our program is made possible with funds provided by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, by the National Endowment for the Arts, and by this radio station and its members. Thank you, members. And not only that, our program, if it is deemed to have achieved a minimum level of competence, is distributed by PRI, Public Radio International. We'll tell you in a moment how you can get an official playlist of all the music on today's program with album numbers and everything. Just refer to the program number. This is program number 98. And this is Peter Schickele saying goodbye and reminding you that it don't mean a thing if it ain't got that certain je ne sais quoi. You're looking good. See you next week. If you'd like a copy of that playlist I mentioned, send a stamped self-addressed envelope to Schickele Mix. That's Schickele, Schickele Mix, care of Public Radio International, 100 North 6th Street, Suite 900A, Minneapolis, Minnesota, 55403.
PRI, Public Radio International.